The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation as Gervonta, Tank.Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. prepare to face off in a highly anticipated rematch, following their controversial draw in their first professional encounter. The tension between these two lightweight titans has been palpable, with verbal jabs exchanged through social media, press conferences, and interviews, amplifying the stakes for what promises to be a defining moment in their careers. Their rivalry, rooted in a history that stretches back to their amateur days, has captivated fans and fighters alike, with opinions split on who will emerge victorious in this second clash. The first fight between Davis and Roach ended in a disputed draw, leaving both camps dissatisfied and fans clamoring for a rematch. The bout, which took place on March 1st, was a surprising test for Davis, who entered as the heavy favorite, expected to dominate with his devastating punching power and slick boxing skills. Many predicted he would notch his 29th career knockout against Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. However, Roach defied expectations, showcasing resilience, tactical acumen, and the ability to counter Davis's aggressive style. The fight was closely contested, with Roach landing significant shots and even backing up the World Boxing Association lightweight titleholder at times. The draw left a bitter taste for both fighters, with Roach's team believing he was robbed of a victory and Davis's camp insisting he deserved the win despite an uncharacteristically relaxed performance. One of the most controversial moments of the first fight came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after absorbing a jab from Roach. Instead of being counted as a knockdown, referee Steve Willis began a standard count, and Davis's corner assisted him by wiping his face with a towel, an action that sparked debate about whether it violated boxing rules. Davis later attributed the incident to hair grease stinging his eyes, but critics, including fellow boxer Frank Martin, argued that Davis benefited from favoritism, as the referee did not penalize him for receiving assistance mid-round. This moment became a focal point of contention, with some fans and analysts believing it could have swung the fight in Roach's favor if scored as a knockdown. The controversy surrounding the first fight has only fueled the fire for the rematch, now scheduled for late summer or early fall after an initial date of June 21st was postponed. Both fighters have returned to the gym with renewed focus, each determined to prove their superiority. For Davis, the rematch is a chance to reassert his dominance and erase the memory of a performance that many felt fell short of his usual brilliance. Known for his explosive power, which has been likened to a car crash, Davis is eager to demonstrate that the draw was a fluke, a product of underestimating his opponent. For Roach, the fight represents an opportunity to solidify his status as one of the lightweight division's elite, alongside names like Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, and Keyshawn Davis. A victory would not only give him a definitive edge over Davis but also serve as redemption for what he believes were stolen wins in their amateur encounters and their first professional bout. The bad blood between Davis and Roach has been a driving force behind the rematch's hype. Their history dates back to their amateur days, where they faced off twice, with Roach claiming he was cheated in at least one of those bouts. This sense of unfinished business carried over into their professional careers, erupting in public exchanges after their first fight. Davis took to social media to criticize Roach's training methods, tweeting, "See how he trains. You're fighting me and you train like that." He later elaborated on a livestream, calling Roach too slow and too boring to beat him and asserting that he lost the first fight due to his own mistakes rather than Roach's skill. These comments sparked a divide among fans, with some agreeing that Roach is a basic fighter who got lucky, while others defended Roach's performance, arguing that he proved himself a worthy adversary by holding his own against one of boxing's most feared punchers. Roach, for his part, has remained composed but resolute, emphasizing his preparation and confidence in the rematch. Training in Washington, D.C., for the first time in several fights, Roach is focused on sharpening his skills to counter Davis's power and speed. He acknowledges Davis's strengths, describing him as a fighter with hell of a IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. However, Roach believes he fought the best version of Davis in their first encounter and is prepared to face an even more determined opponent this time. He dismisses the notion that his performance was a one-off, warning other fighters not to underestimate him based on his draw with Davis. "Don't think because of what I did, y'all can just go in there and have the same night," he said, underscoring his belief in his own abilities. The boxing community has been vocal about the rematch, with fans and fighters weighing in on the matchup. Frank Martin, who faced Davis in June 2024 and suffered a knockout loss, offered a nuanced perspective on the first fight. Martin believes Davis was more locked in against him than against Roach, suggesting that Davis underestimated Roach and fought in a relaxed and chill manner. He acknowledged Roach's performance, noting that he came out with his A game and took advantage of Davis's lack of urgency. However, Martin predicts that Davis will make adjustments and potentially get him up out of there in the rematch, citing Davis's ability to adapt and his status as a money-making star who benefits from favorable officiating. Rolando "Raleigh" Romero, another fighter who fell to Davis via knockout in 2022, also favors Davis in the rematch. Romero praised Roach's durability and performance, noting that he fought like a real professional and took Davis by surprise. However, he believes Davis will learn from his mistakes and come prepared to dominate. Romero's comments reflect a broader sentiment among Davis's past opponents, who seem eager to affirm his greatness, perhaps to preserve their own reputations. Ryan Garcia, who was stopped by Davis in 2023, echoed this sentiment, predicting that Davis will put on a different gear in the rematch after underestimating Roach in their first meeting. Garcia also called for stricter enforcement of rules regarding incidents like Davis's knee, arguing that fairness must be upheld. The rematch has generated significant buzz, with fans praising the intensity and drama surrounding the build-up. One fan described the tension at the press conference as electric, predicting that the fight could be a contender for Fight of the Year. Others are divided, with some backing Davis's unmatched power and ferocity, while others believe Roach's speed, agility, and counterpunching could lead to an upset. The controversy over the first fight's officiating, particularly the knee incident, has added an extra layer of intrigue, with many questioning whether the rematch will see similar disputes. For Davis, the rematch is uncharted territory. He has never fought a rematch in his professional career, nor has he ever been held to a draw before facing Roach. The experience of being pushed to his limits has seemingly lit a fire under him, with reports suggesting he is training with renewed intensity. Davis has dismissed Roach's counterpunching style, expressing confidence in his ability to break down his defense. "I'm trying to knock everybody out," he declared, signaling his intent to deliver a decisive finish. Yet, the pressure is on to prove that the first fight was an anomaly, as another close call could tarnish his reputation as an untouchable force in the lightweight division. Roach, meanwhile, is embracing the underdog role while carrying the weight of his supporters' expectations. The outpouring of support following the first fight, with many believing he deserved the victory, has bolstered his confidence. "It meant a lot to me," Roach said of the fans' backing. "Everyone saw what happened that night. Everyone saw the true outcome." Moving up in weight class for the rematch, Roach believes his size and height could give him an edge, despite Davis's claims of being the naturally smaller fighter. Roach's focus is on staying sharp and avoiding the mistakes that allowed Davis to escape with a draw. The rematch is not just about settling a score, it's about legacy. For Davis, a convincing win would reaffirm his status as one of boxing's pound-for-pound greats, a three-division world champion with a fearsome reputation. For Roach, a victory would catapult him into the upper echelon of the sport, proving that his performance in the first fight was no fluke. The stakes are high, with both fighters aware that the outcome could define their careers. As the boxing world awaits the showdown, the narrative is clear. This is more than a fight, it's a clash of wills, skill, and pride. Davis's raw power and Roach's technical prowess promise an explosive encounter, with each fighter determined to leave no doubt about their superiority. Whether it's Davis landing a knockout blow or Roach outboxing his rival to secure an upset, the rematch is poised to deliver the kind of drama that makes boxing unforgettable. Fans are ready, the fighters are prepared, and the stage is set for a battle that could reshape the lightweight division.